everybody. Okay, thank you for being here today. First of all, I would love to send a big warm welcome thank you to all of you for presenting here. And yeah, before my speech, I just want to share a little bit about my whole journey here. It's been extremely long, extremely difficult, but yet here I am. And today I'm proudly presenting to you guys my whole Wonderland journey of being the Mad Hatter. And so, let's jump right into the talk. Okay, so the topic name might be really absurd to everybody here. Like, how playing the Mad Hatter? Who is the Mad Hatter? Probably if you guys have ever watched or read about Alice in Wonderland written by Lewis Caroll, you would know Alice in Wonderland, and you would probably know who the Hatter is. But to actually play the role and to become the person I am today, it is such a long and exciting and magical journey, or as I always refer to as Wonderlandish or Wonderlandable. Okay, so first of all, probably you guys have been questioning how I've got to play the role of the Mad Hatter. And I had a dream of singing in Broadway and musical, or simply just performing on stage when I was 17 years old in grade 11. Sadly, at the time, I was 100% on my own. But with deep passion, although I was supported by no one, I was accompanied by no one, I still kept the passion about singing and dancing or even acting. I never actually thought that I would become an actor one day. Who would know that 2 years later, in my first and my second year in Hanoi for university, I kept following all of the pages on social media about musical performances, or especially from Hanoi Drama Theater or the Hanoi Opera House. I even wrote in my notes on the phone when I first came here to study university. I was like listing a lot of goals I want to accomplish when I'm 20 years old, including singing inside the Hanoi Opera House. But I was like, how am I gonna get into the Hanoi Opera House? How am I gonna be actually performing there? Not to even mention acting, right? But one day, that dream just came true for me. I saw a casting post online about this Alice in Wonderland musical coming to Vietnam, and all of the actors and actresses are going to perform inside the Hanoi Opera House. I took the chance, I went for the casting round, and I even sang I Dreamed a Dream in the casting round, and I was selected as the Mad Hatter. And when the director called me to inform me that, "Hello Nam, you are chosen to be the Mad Hatter," and I was a musical. Really? I got the role? Yes, really. So I went practicing 3 months consecutively. I never left any single rehearsal day or any practice training session. I was there all the time. And we performed at the Drama Theater, and we performed inside the Hanoi Opera House. And it was a dream comes true, because being the Mad Hatter, playing Alice in Wonderland musical, is always been something that's inside of me, and I'm really passionate about Wonderland, and I'm really passionate about making it reality. Okay, so why my topic is how playing the Mad Hatter changed my life, and how is it relevant to the young fever? So in Wonderland, there is a concept of 6 impossible things before breakfast. So I decided to link those 6 impossible things to the 6 fevers of the youth community. 6 impossible things, 6 fevers of the youth. So before jumping right into what the 6 impossible things and 6 fevers are, I'd love to have you guys get out your phone or your notebook and pen and paper and note down all of the 6 fevers and try to find what topics do they cover. Okay, the first fever, not having enough time. Time is rather a weird concept in Wonderland, especially for the Mad Hatter role, because you guys if you guys have read Alice in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter and his friends are stuck inside a time zone of 6 o'clock. They are continuously drinking tea at 6 o'clock every single day. So I decided to link this with the sentence of not having enough time. This is somehow connected to the time management skills of the younger generation nowadays, because when I first entered university, I thought that people from my university are gonna be different. They're gonna use my time and their time more wisely, and they're gonna make it the most out of every single day of their life. Because back in high school, all we knew was studying 24 hours every single day of the week. I thought that was gonna change when I entered university, but it didn't change, not even a little bit much. So, when I first started my podcast channel, coincidentally, a year ago, I was making podcasts while sustaining my grade at school, and people saw me making podcasts, and they started their own podcast channel too. And I was supportive. I was a really supportive friend. I shared and I commented, I reacted to every single post or podcast of them on social media. But then 1 month passes, 2 months passed, and I was like, where's the second episode? And I texted to ask my friend, and she replied me, I don't have time. I don't have enough time to do podcasts while studying or joining clubs and projects. At that time, I made 42 podcasts. So I suddenly realized this is somehow a fever of the youth, always complaining about having too little amount of time, but then when they are given the exact amount of time they want, they used them really unconsciously. So the problem here is when it comes to time management, the priority for me is crucial. Prioritization always has to come first. Which activity in a day you want to do first? For example, when I wake up this morning, my first and only prioritization for the whole day is this TEDx talk, right? I cannot focus on anything else in the world. Afterwards, I can do everything I want to do. I can hang out with my friends, I can eat some HANU delicacies around the streets, whatever. But the thing here, you have to prioritize the time in your day to use it wisely. By using it wisely, I mean you don't waste your time. And even more important, you don't let other people waste your time as well. You respect other people's time and you expect them to do the same thing. So the next time you hear someone say, I don't have enough time to do this, I don't have enough time to do that, I need more time on my deadlines, screw them, okay? The second fever of the youth is something I've heard 10 minutes ago. Introverts, extroverts, screw them. Why? Because I didn't have that many concepts of being an introvert or an extrovert back in my high school time. It wasn't that popular. But when I entered university, these terms have become an indispensable part of my life. Somebody says they're an introvert, an extrovert. What my children are gonna do if they are introverts? Can you guide them? Or what university majors are more suitable towards the introvert people, right? Trust me, those are the social stereotypes and perceptions of the world on how we are supposed to be. Maybe I am an introvert, or maybe I am an extrovert. The key thing here, I can be whoever I want to become, wherever I want to be, and do whatever I want to do. So, I'm giving you guys a realistic example here. So, in the progress of practicing to get into the role of the Mad Hatter, I was given an exercise which is called emotional squares. in which we're gonna divide the stage into different sections, and in each section is gonna be a different type of emotion. So I'm gonna give a real life example here. I'm gonna divide the stage into the mad one, which is a state of mind, and a sad one. And the iconic line of the Mad Hatter's role I played 2 months ago is, "It's always tea time," okay? And I'm gonna perform it to show you guys how different they are from one another. Okay, I can start with the sad one first, okay? It's always tea time. It's always tea time! See? They are really different states of emotions and state of mind. And I did that to show you guys that we can be really, really sad here, and our emotions are really heavy, and I want to give up and go home. Or we can be really excited, and we can be really mad on stage. And a reason, after I played the role, the organizing committee said that they selected me for this role because I can be a completely different person on stage and a completely different person off stage. And that is a realistic evidence about we can become whoever we want to become. It depends largely, hugely, significantly on your choice. So every single day you wake up, everything you say to the public, to your friends, or every single action, every single step you take is your choice. Even if it leads to you being defined an introvert or an extrovert, it's the other's perception about you. In the end, what you think of yourself matters. And that is why most of the younger people struggle with self-love and self-confidence, because they let their self-confidence be defined by someone else out there. Okay? So that's the second fever. The third fever is more about the inner side of yourself, which are the insecurities. So you guys have already know about the Mad Hatter and the Tea Party. So I decided when I drafted this, I put it, soak your insecurities in tea. Tea is a very important thing to the Mad Hatter though. So if you have some insecurities and you have tea, yeah, you just soak your insecurities into the tea, because they don't actually matter that much. Insecurities can vary from a lot of fields, a lot of life aspects, but mostly they come from the reasons of not having enough knowledge or a past pain of your life. And that is when you have your insecurities. And it is also very crucial that when you have your insecurities here, whether it is about your body or whether it is about your mindset or your perception, it is extremely important that you write everything down, and then you have a list. And then, when you have the list on your hand, you can actually analyze how you can utilize them. For example, if you have insecurities about your communication skill, which is not really good, you list it down. Communication skill insecurity. And what you're supposed to do with it, right? Is it supposed to be joining more clubs, or speak up more during classes, or having more friends connections? If you know your insecurities, you are on the way of defining who you are and who you want to become in the future. Remember the Mad Hatter's character, because during the practice session, I was told I was giving not enough energy to the audience, but then I realized it was because of my insecurities to the public. I was kind of shy when I expressed the emotions of the character, which is mad at the time, to the audience. So I decided to create my artistic zone on the stage and just ignore everyone out there. And the stage is mine, I control my space, And even though I have insecurities, I use my insecurities to make my character stronger and more special. The Mad Hatter doesn't actually care about what everybody thinks about him. He cares about what he thinks about himself. That is the most important thing I've mentioned, even in the second fever, right? So if you have your insecurities, do your best to beat them. Beat yourself. Do not let the world beat you first. Or, as I always say, you have to slap yourself in the face before everybody does. The next thing, the fourth fever, is about an important aspect of life, your relationship. Your relationship matters. I used to have a lot of friends in high school, and now I do have a lot of friends in university, but the difference here is that my inspiration came from who? Who gave me the motivation to do things in life? I have a lot of people who changed my life for the better in various ways. And I always want to express my gratitude to them, whether they are my mentees or my audience or people who join my concert. Those are the people who are gonna have a really big impact on your life. So, your relationship circle, also write a list. Who am I having at the moment? Why am I connected to them? What are the mutual connections? And why are they special to your life and your development? Even though sometimes people can let you down, or they can inspire you, motivate you, or just encourage you, they all matter because they are a part of your life journey. Okay, so define who they are and find out how you can improve your relationships with them. That's about a relationship circle, and sometimes it can be confusing when you find out that a lot of people out there, they have many connections and they also have many friends. But then again, what is the problem that I only have 2 or 3 friends in my connections, right? It's again about comparison. The Mad Hatter, he only has a dormouse and a March Hare to be his companions on the tea party. And the key factor is here that they enjoy every single tea party of every single day. They have happiness in the moment. And sometimes people get confused when they see a lot of people having many friends. But respect and cherish everybody by your side because they can be the one who is going to change your life in the nearest future. The fifth fever I'm bringing is about commitment. Commitment is a factor in my speech, which I have been spending nearly 1 month to figure out this fever. When I have a project and then people join in, I work a lot with them, and I realize the fever of the youth lies in commitment. The commitment rate is rather low because you see people joining clubs or projects and then dropping out continuously, and it sometimes drains your energy when you're the leader or the founder of an organization. And are there anybody here who is a part of a club or an association? Yeah, a lot, right? Thank you. So you're gonna see people going in and then dropping out a lot. And that is the problem about commitment. Sometimes people just want to be like, I'm gonna join this job, I'm gonna do this at this company or at this club of this university for fun, for experience, or because my friends join in there, so I want to be there too. But then after 3 days or 1 week, they just dropped out of nowhere. This is somehow also linked to your passion definition journey. For example, when you see people doing a new thing, like studying abroad, you're gonna be like, I wanna study abroad too. It's gonna be my new passion and my new goal for the next year. That is when you define your goal here. And then you're gonna face a step, which is called risk management. There's gonna be lots of risks in your way and you have to experience them effectively. Somehow people tend to drop out of this step, of this risk experiencing step, which is why they give up more easily and they being demotivated more easily than others in the same group, in the same project, in the same activity, and they cannot reach their set goals, which is to find a new passion, or in another word, find a new commitment. So, the next time you want to give up on doing something, or like quitting a job, or dropping out of a club, have a second thought. How is this going to change my life for the better? Okay? So, think about your commitment rate when you do something. A lot of young people tend to ask themselves, why am I not successful yet? Are you fully committed to what you're doing? For example, when I started my blog and my podcast, it was really difficult at the time because nobody in my school has ever done it before. I struggled to find my way, and I lack of content writing and creativity at the beginning, but I decided to give it a go. Go with the flow. I kept writing and writing and writing and writing until I get one post right. And I have the direction to go with the flow. And it's been 1 year for me, and it's gonna be 10 years. And I want you guys to have the same path, the same journey of being committed, being persistent. And do not get confused about keeping your energy sustained along the way. It can change. It can change during a lot of difficult times or happier times in your life. Accept it and let it go with the flow. Okay, we're reaching the 6th fever. So I want you guys to read this line really carefully. Focus on the screen here. It's only your hat, or I mean your head. Okay. So whenever it is negative or positive, or anything you want to define, introvert, extrovert, positive, attitude, sad, madness, it's all just something in your mind. It's in your head right here. Okay? We wear different hats every single day. And it's really important which hat you choose to wear in which situation, which day of the week, which month of the year, right? So the next time you feel down, or you feel motivated, or you feel like the world is corrupting, or you feel like you wanna go to heaven because everything is so happy and joyful, it's all in here. It's only your hat. By which I mean your mindset. Define your mindset, and you're gonna have the life that you always wanted. Okay? So that's the end of my speech today. Thank you for your listening.